Welcome to the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution Indian Peaks Chapter Pearl Harbor Day Commemoration Service. We gathered to recall the men and women who gave their lives on the 81st anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii on December 7, 1941. Pearl Harbor Day is observed annually in the United States to honor the 2,403 American souls who lost their lives to the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. This was the precursor for the entrance into World War II by the United States when war was declared on Japan the next day. Let us honor these men and women. Let us remember the ships on Battleship Row. USS Nevada, the USS Nevada was moored behind Arizona on December 7, 1941, and was the only battleship to get underway that morning. Although she was run aground off Hospital Point to avoid blocking the channel, the effort to escape boosted morale among service members that day. After many missions in the Pacific, Nevada was sent to Europe. On June 6, 1944, she served as the flagship for D-Day invasion. The USS Nevada was the only ship present at both Pearl Harbor and Normandy. USS Arizona. The USS Arizona was a Pennsylvania-class battleship built in the mid-1910s. Commissioned in 1916, Arizona stayed statewide during World War I. Later, she was sent to the Pacific Fleet, based in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The USS Arizona was hit multiple times in the first few minutes of the attack. One bomb penetrated the armored deck near the ammunition magazines in the forward section of the ship, causing a massive explosion and killing 1,177 of the soldiers and Marines on board. Irreparably damaged, the USS Arizona still lies at the bottom of Pearl Harbor. USS Vestal. The USS Vestal was a repair ship moored next to the USS Arizona on December 7, 1941. The Vestal was badly damaged during the attack, hit by bombs intended for the battleships. Crew members of the USS Vestal played a vital role in rescuing sailors on the nearby USS Arizona. USS Tennessee. The USS Tennessee was the lead ship of her class of battleships. She was launched in April 1919 and served in various places before arriving at San Pedro, California, where she spent the next 19 years. The USS Tennessee was sent to the Pacific in 1940 along with the other battleships as part of President Roosevelt's plan to deter Japanese expansion. Moored next to the USS Virginia, the Tennessee was damaged during the Pearl Harbor attack, but was repaired and modernized. USS West Virginia. The USS West Virginia was commissioned in December 1923. She took part in training and tactical development operations until 1939 and was sent to Pearl Harbor in 1940. On December 7, 1941, the USS West Virginia was sunk by torpedoes and 2 bombs, killing 106 crew members. In May 1942, the ship was salvaged and sent away to be repaired. She would later play a key role in many Pacific battles and was present at Tokyo Bay during the Japanese surrender. USS Maryland. The USS Maryland was commissioned in July 1921. She was used for many occasions and training operations. In 1940, the USS Maryland was moved to Pearl Harbor with the rest of the fleet. She was moored at Battleship Row next to the USS Oklahoma on the morning of December 7, 1941. The USS Maryland was only slightly damaged by bombs during the attack and lost 4 crew members. In June 1942, she became the first ship damaged at Pearl Harbor to return to duty. USS Oklahoma. The USS Oklahoma was a Nevada-class battleship commissioned in 1916. She served in World War I, protecting convoys across the Atlantic. Modernized in the late 1920s, Oklahoma was sent to the Pacific in the late 1930s. On December 7, 1941, Oklahoma's port left side was hit by 8 torpedoes at the very start of the attack. In less than 12 minutes, she rolled over until her mast touched the bottoms, trapping hundreds of men inside and then under the water. 429 crew members died. Of those trapped inside, only 32 could be rescued. We remember the battleships on Battleship Row. Let us remember the 2 ships not on Battleship Row. USS Pennsylvania. The USS Pennsylvania was commissioned in June 1916 and was attached to the Atlantic Fleet. In 1922, she was assigned to the Pacific Fleet for fleet tactics and battle practice. The USS Pennsylvania was in dry dock, undergoing repairs on December 7, 1941. She was one of the first ships to open fire on the Japanese planes. Pennsylvania was bombed and badly strafed. 31 service members aboard were killed. The USS Pennsylvania was repaired in March 1942 and sent back into service in the Pacific. USS Utah. The USS Utah was a Florida-class dreadnought battleship, completed in 1911. She served in World War I and throughout the 1920s. In 1931, Utah was demilitarized and converted into a target ship. She was also equipped with anti-aircraft guns for gunnery training. On December 7, 1941, the USS Utah, moored on the other side of Ford Island and hit by torpedoes at the start of the attack, quickly rolled over and sank. 58 of Utah's crew died. The ship was never salvaged and it remains where it sank in Pearl Harbor. Of the ships that were strafed and sunk, 2 remain forever sunk in Pearl Harbor. The remaining ships were either repaired or requisitioned or scuttled for parts. Today, the 2 that remain in Pearl Harbor are the USS Arizona and the USS Utah. May these remain in our thoughts.
Let us never forget.
On the USS Arizona, 900 sailors and Marines were not recovered and 334 survived. The USS Utah lost 60, with only 2 being recovered and 461 surviving. Of all the sailors and Marines aboard these ships, all of the sailors and Marines aboard these ships can be interred upon their passing. In 1982, the Navy began interring deceased Pearl Harbor survivors on their old ships. The final one was interred in 2019. The USS Utah had 3 internments. The USS Arizona had 44 internments. Full military honors were given at the services. The 2 remaining survivors from the Arizona plan to be laid to rest with their families. As a note, survivors from other ships can have their ashes scattered over Pearl Harbor. Scuba divers placed urns of the deceased in the well of the barbette, number 4 on Arizona. On 6th of December 2019, the final burial took place. Lauren Bruner was the 44th and last crew member to be interred. Bruner said he wanted to return to his ship because few people go to cemeteries while more than 1 million visit Arizona each year. He also thought it fit to join old friends who never made it off the warship. In accordance with full military honors, at the close of day, a rifle salute echoed across the silent harbor as the sound of taps carried the sailor to his final resting place. I know not what the future hath of marvel or surprise, assured alone that life and death God's mercy underlies. I know not where his islands lift their fronded palms in the air. I only know I cannot drift beyond his love and care. John Greenleaf Whittier. God hath not promised skies always blue, flower-strewn pathways all our lives through. God had not promised sun without rain, joy without sorrow, peace without pain. But God has promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, and undying love. Thank you for participating in our ceremony today. May our hearts and thoughts be with Pearl Harbor.